Welcome to QuizzWizzarium, land of tricky spells and tricky quizzes. I'm QuizzWizz, your quiz conjurer, here to riddle your brain. Hit subscribe if you dare. The magic quiz ride starts here. Now sharpen those ears, brave wizard. For today's challenge, sound is your spell. Listen closely, for every echo hides a mystery. Let the guessing begin. Question 1. Gather round, my sharp-eared sorcerers. Something mysterious is echoing through the air. Ready your ears? What was that peculiar jingle? Focus your ears and conjure a guess. Aha! That was the sound of coins clinking together. Did your mind turn silver with that guess? Question 2. Something stirred just now. Lean in close. A whisper from the unknown is upon us. What just fluttered by like knowledge on the run? It was the turning of book pages, a sound every wise wizard knows well. Question 3. Did you feel that? Something scurried in the shadows. What could it be? That tap-tap rhythm hides a tale. What made that sound? It was someone typing on a keyboard. Casting spells with words, perhaps? Question 4. Brace yourselves. Something just roared to life in the potion chamber. A mighty buzz, as if potions were being stirred. Ha! It was a blender blending away. A modern wizard's cauldron indeed. Question 5. Oh ho, that was no echo of silence. A sound just leapt through the air. A bold bark echoes forth. Who summoned the beast? That was a dog barking. I hope you didn't flinch, brave guesser. Question 6. Shh. Something just clicked into place. Did you hear that? A snap frozen in time. What made that sound? That was a camera shutter, capturing a magical moment, no doubt. Question 7. The torches flickered, and something just turned the tides of light. A flick, a tick, something changed. What was it? It was a light switch being flipped. Darkness into light. Classic spell work. Question 8. Ooh! A zany zap zizzled by. Did you catch it? A digital chirp. But from whence did it come? That was a retro video game sound. Level up if you nailed that one. Question 9. Did you hear it? A crunch beneath your feet. Something approaches. A rugged rhythm of travel. What path was taken? That was someone walking on gravel. Crunchy and curious. Question 10. A sizzling secret just escaped the cauldron. Can you hear its tale? Hot and crackling. What magic bubbles within? That was food sizzling in a pan. A breakfast spell, perhaps? Question 11. Oh my stars! Something zoomed past like a ghost. That mighty whoosh! What soared across the skies? It was an airplane flying overhead. Even dragons look twice at that speed. Question 12. Silence shattered for a split second. But what shattered it? A sharp crack. What just splintered into shards? That was glass breaking. Oops! Someone's potion bottle took a tumble. Question 13. A spark lit the void. Something just sizzled into being. Did you feel the jolt? What gave off that zap? It was an electric shock sound. Careful. Magic and voltage don't always mix. Question 14. Oh ho! Something dropped from above. Was it treasure or trouble? That thud echoed with mystery. What tumbled down? It was a basketball falling to the floor. Next time, try a levitation charm. Question 15. A click and a roll. Sounds like someone's about to decide their fate. A chance was taken. What was tossed upon the table? That was the sound of dice rolling. Ah, the old game of chance. Classic wizard fun. Question 16. A snap, a crackle, then a burst. Something's heating up in the wizard's cauldron. Tiny explosions of joy. But what's making that magical ruckus? That was the sound of popcorn popping. Nothing like a snack spell done right. Popcorn sparkles. Question 17. Hark! A puff of steam just hissed from the depths. That whine of warmth. What just boiled over? It was a kettle whistling. Time for tea or a brewing potion. Question 18. Something metallic clanked in the dungeon. Did you hear that? That chilling rattle? What was it? That was the sound of chains rattling. Hope it wasn't from the prisoner. Question 19. Oh, that sounded important. And loud. Something's calling. But what device dares disturb our spell? It was a phone ringing. A muggle invention, but still quite magical. Question 20. A presence stirs. Can you hear what drifts through the silence? Something whispers through the leaves. What is this ghostly rush of nature? That was the wind blowing. Nature's breath stirring up enchantment. Question 21. The silence breaks with steady magic. Something stirs in rhythm. What's this repeating sound? Let the mystery unfold. That was a clock ticking. Even wizards must obey the rules of time. Occasionally. Question 22. A sudden whoosh disturbs the calm. Something just dashed into the air. Did you hear that burst of movement? What just took off in a hurry? That was the sound of a pigeon flying. Even the skies can't resist a little magic liftoff. Question 23. Shh. Did you hear that? A soft sound tiptoed past like a shadow. A gentle voice from the void. What creature called out? That was a cat meowing. Perhaps a familiar checking in on your spells. Question 24. From the depths of calm, something begins to move. Feel that? It speaks in crackles and whispers. What do your ears tell you? That was the sound of fire crackling. The music of warmth and wild magic. Question 25. Wait! That rhythmic thud. Was it a march or a magical stomp? A booming beat from the beyond. What's keeping the rhythm? It was a drum beating, perfect for summoning a storm or a party. Question 26. The silence shattered again, but by what kind of call? Oh my! What tiny creature just wailed through the ether? That was a baby crying. Even the youngest wizards make a loud entrance. Question 27. Something clicked. Something creaked. What just sealed its fate? A secure snap echoes through the halls. What caused it? That was a door being locked. Better keep that troll out. Or in. Question 28. The skies grow dark. A deep growl echoes from above. What mighty force just rumbled through the realm? That was the sound of thunder rumbling. A storm brews with magic in every crackle. Question 29. A sudden tone echoes through the air. What mystery lies beyond that chime? A curious call, brief yet bold. Can you name this sound? That was the sound of a doorbell ringing. Someone seeks entry. But into what? Question 30. A sudden burst. Something just disturbed the silence. Now, that was unexpected. What do you reckon made that noise? That was the sound of splashing water. A splash so bold, it woke the spirits of the stream. Question 31. Whoosh! Did you feel that breeze twist by like a phantom? Something soft just stirred. What danced in the wind? That was a curtain fluttering. A gentle swoosh from the shadows. Question 32. Creak! What just pushed its way into our realm? A long-lost portal groans to life. What sound was that? That was a creaky door opening. Could be a secret library or a haunted chamber. Question 33. A sudden clang. The forge has spoken. Or was it something else? A mighty strike. What rang out with such force? It was a hammer hitting metal, a blacksmith's rhythm, or a spell gone clang. Question 34. Pitter-patter from above. Is the sky sending us signals? A soft and steady spell. What sound just showered us? That was rain falling, nature's lullaby, or a cloud shedding secrets. Question 35. Zzz, something quick just uncoiled. A fast release of magic. What made that sound? It was a zipper being opened. Accessing the secrets of your wizard pouch? Question 36. Tick, tick, ding! Time just called out loud. A perfect ping. But what device made that chime? It was a timer going off. Potions ready. Or cookies, perhaps? Question 37. Rrrn! A whirling sound from the depths of magic. A mighty hum. What tool vibrates with such fury? That was an electric toothbrush. Even wizards care for their enchanted smiles. Question 38. Shh. A strange sound slides across stone. A scrape of mystery. What moved with such racket? It was a chair being dragged. Or perhaps a haunted seat with legs of its own. Question 39. Clink, clank, click. Something's on the move. What could it be? A jingle of control and entry. What sound echoed there? That was a set of keys jingling. Now, which door shall we unlock? Question 40. Fasten your wizard robes. Something's speeding by. That sound zoomed right past us. But did you catch it? It was a motorbike engine. Vroom, vroom. Wizard riders unite. Question 41. A rumble in the air. Something fierce just tore through reality. Did you feel that tremor? What just rocked the realm so loudly? That was the sound of an explosion. Boom! A blast worthy of a wizard's wildest spell. Question 42. What's that gentle gurgle? Sounds like something's brewing deep in the cauldron. Is it a potion? Or perhaps a stew of secrets? That was the sound of bubbling liquid. Ah, yes, the unmistakable fizz of a magical brew in the making. Question 43. Shh. Something cracked like a whip of fate. A clean break. But what broke in the dark? That was a stick snapping. A forest warning? Or just clumsy goblins? Question 44. Woo! A haunting sound from the mist. A night call full of wisdom. What made that echo? That was an owl hooting. A wise friend of night-bound spellcasters. Question 45. Silence. Then a sudden thud echoes through the air. Did you catch that? Listen closely. That was the sound of a knock on the door. Even the castle walls shiver at that sound. Question 46. Something clicked and clacked, like a skeletal dance. Old magic. One letter at a time. What made that rhythm? It was a typewriter typing away. Back when spells were written in ink, not pixels. Question 47. Oh ho! A sudden rip echoes through the room. What mysterious moment just unfolded? Did you hear that? What just happened in the shadows? That was the sound of paper tearing. Hope it wasn't an ancient scroll from the wizard's library. Question 48. Whoosh! Then a shriek. Sounds like something just made a magical escape. Hold on to your robes. What made that high-speed howl? That was the sound of car tires screeching. Someone's ride just pulled a fast spell turn. Hope they didn't hit a dragon. Question 49. A gentle hum in the air. Sounds like tiny wings casting spells of their own. Oh ho, that's no ordinary hum. What magical creature just flew by? That was the sound of a bee buzzing. Careful now. These little fellows guard their nectar like gold. Question 50. Whoosh and chop. The wind trembles beneath this mighty beast. What magical machine dares to defy gravity? That was the sound of helicopter rotor blades. Ah, yes, a sky-churning chariot for brave adventurers. Question 51. A sudden clash echoes through the halls. Has someone disturbed the wizard's kitchen? That was no gentle tap. What made that racket? That was the sound of a pan clanging. Someone's making more noise than magic in there. Question 52. Let's cut through the noise. This one's sharp. Snip snap. Something's being trimmed. What's your guess? It was scissors snipping. Did you clip the right answer? Question 53. Bzzz. That's not a good sign. What's flying nearby? That annoying tone? What creature makes it? That was a mosquito buzzing. Time to cast the Repello-Itchias charm. Question 54. Rattle, rattle. Something rolled loose from its case. A shake of power. What's inside? That was a spray can being shaken. A potion in aerosol form? Modern alchemy. Question 55. A strange sputter in the air. Something's not going as planned. What just made that wild whoosh and whirl? That was the sound of a balloon deflating. Pfft! Away it flew like a rogue spell gone silly. Question 56. Ooh, can you hear that? Something's alive with little whispers. What curious sound have we summoned? That was the sound of cereal crackling. Ah, a snack-sized symphony from the wizard's pantry. Question 57. A whir and a zoom. Sounds like magic on wheels is on the move. What enchanted object just raced by? That was the sound of a remote control car. A tiny chariot, powered by wizardry and batteries. Question 58. Plink plonk. Gentle drops of magic from above. A slow, steady rhythm. What sound is this? That was water dripping. The leaky cauldron strikes again. Question 59. Whoosh! Now that was intense. Up, up, and away. What just blasted off? That was a rocket launching. To the stars? Or maybe just Wizard School's astronomy class. Question 60. Zing! A final spark for our last test. Something shimmered in the air. But what could it have been? That was a magical chime. A perfect ending to your sound sorcery challenge. Ah, well done, brave listener. You've reached the end of the audio challenge. So tell me, how many sounds did you guess correctly? Drop your score in the comments and let the wizardly bragging begin. Still hungry for more? Watch our Find the Odd One Out puzzle and try the Magic Word Scramble, both bubbling with enchantment and challenge. And remember, tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another riddle from QuizzWizzarium.